Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hariyatitarasivara Dhagavarisa-gugayil Arivairami Paramattuman Arunachala-ramanan Parivarulam Uruganala Paranarndidu guhayarndu Arivam Vizhitiravai Nisamarivaai adu veliyam Annamalai Adiyenai ஆண்ட அன்றே ஆவியுடல் கொண்டாயனக்கோ குறையுண்டோ குறையும் குணமும் நீயல்லால் என்னேனிவற்றை என்னுயிரே எண்ணம் எதுவோ அது செய்வாய் கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையும் காதற் பெருக்கே தருவாயே கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையும் காதற் பெருக்கே தருவாயே. ஸ்ரீ அருணாச்சலம். Yesterday we saw the core philosophy of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharaj. That is Atma Vicharana, path of self-inquiry. Bhagavan started saying, when you inquire, what is this mind which is really troubling me? If you dive deep within and inquire, then he says, you will find there is no mind. This is the straight path, he says. How can you say this? How can you say that there is no mind? Then Bhagavan started his inquiry. He said, what is a mind after all? Mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. So if you further analyze what is a thought, he says there are two aspects in a thought. Meaning, one is that which illumines the world of objects and one which illumines the I, the person who is thinking about that thought. So it is called as idam vritti and aham vritti, technically in Sanskrit language. And then he goes on to say, all the vrittis or all the idam vrittis, all the other thoughts are dependent on the I thought. Because only when the I thought arises, all the other thoughts arise. For example, in the deep sleep, there is no I thought, there are no thoughts. But when you wake up, yes, there is first the I thought, and then there are other thoughts. So he says, all the other thoughts are dependent on this I thought. So he says, mind means nothing but this I thought, aham vritti. Then on further inquiry, what is this I? From where this I thought arises? If you look within, deeply inquire, then he says, I patatyaham. Patatyaham. I means alas. Patatyaham. This I just dies. And you will find there is nothing called as I. It is only a figment of imagination. Because of our identification with the body and mind, which is not I, there is a sort of a notion that I. So when you inquire, what am I, who am I, from where this I thought arises? Inquiry means giving attention to oneself and to find out from where this I thought is arising. So once when that is done, this I also perishes. And what remains in that place, what remains? There is another one which shines as I. Aham aham taya sprati swayam, he says. And that is Paramapurna Sat. That is the truth. That also shines as I only. But this is Akhanda. Akhanda means unbroken, infinite I. But whereas the first one, the small I, was broken means what? It is very limited. So this I, which shines as I in the heart, that is Paramapurna Sat. Why? Because it is available in all the three states of consciousness. In the waking also, because of that consciousness only, we are able to recognize things. We are conscious of things. In the dream state also. Even in the deep sleep state. When this I thought perishes, this I doesn't. Because that is our experience, the continuity. I was sleeping well. I enjoyed. That's what we commemorate when we wake up. So therefore, this self, the true self, is available even in the deep sleep state. This jiva goes through only these three states, again and again. Today morning also we saw in Kaivalya Upanishad. So in all three periods of time, in all three states of waking, dream and deep sleep, this self is there. But whereas the waker or the dreamer is not available in the deep sleep. Similarly, the deep sleep experience is different from the waking or the dream. Therefore, this self is available in and through all the three states of consciousness. And it is beyond also. So we saw it is called as Turiya, or the fourth. So this is Paramapurna Sat. And how this can be realized? By negating all the not self. Like this body, gross body, the prana, dhi means mind and intellect. And even tamaha, the ignorance. Because they are all jada, inert, and asat, they are not available always. Therefore, rejecting that, we recognize, yes, I am. The self is the truth. So this is what we saw in yesterday's class. Now further moving on, 23rd verse.
Sattvabhasika chitvavetara.
Sattvabhasika chitvavetara.
Sattaya chittaya hyaham.
Sattaya chittaya hyaham.
Sattvabhasika chitvavetara.
Sattvabhasika chitvavetara.
Sattaya chittaya hyaham.
Sattaya chittaya hyaham.
Sattvabhasika chit kwa va itara. This is how we have to split this. Qua va itara chit. Is there any other knowledge or conscious entity to illumine this Sat? Sat means this existence principle. There is a question. Qua va means is there. Itara, some other. Itara means some other. Chit, a conscious entity there to illumine this Sattvabhasika, this Sat principle. No. Sattaya hi chit. This Sat, this self, which is of the nature of existence, pure, itself is a conscious principle which is illumining it. And chittaya hi aham. And that conscious principle is I. Today also Brahmaji said in the morning in the Kaivalya Upanishad, Tat tvameva, tvameva tat. You are that alone. He said Similarly here, Bhagavan also says, this aham, this self, which is of the nature of I am, I exist, this itself is that principle which illumines that existence also. He is asking a question, is there any other knowledge or conscious entity which is illumining this Sat? If you consider that there is something else apart from this Sat principle which is illumining this Sat, it means that becomes Asat. That conscious principle becomes Asat. Why? It is other than Sat. Asat means it is not. If you say Sat is something else, Chit is something else, then how this Sat is known? By something called as Chit. Then how that Chit is known? It goes on. Ad infinitum. It is fallacy in logic. These are all technical points. I don't want to too much confuse you with these technical points. But here the idea is, not only I am, I know I am. So, the Sat means I am. And Chit means what? I know I am. So therefore, to illumine this self, there is no other knowledge required. It is self-effulgent. Like the sun. To illumine the sun, you don't need another torchlight. By its own light, it is shining. Similarly, this self is shining by its own. Therefore, no other knowledge or conscious principle required to illumine this. So therefore, when you ask, when I drop everything, even the buddhi, everything in that meditation, in that seat of meditation, then how it is known? Meaning it is known by itself. Because there is no other knowledge or instrument required to know this. To know this world, we need senses, sense organs, and the mind behind it, and the light of the conscious principle. But for this, you don't need any equipment in between, and there is no other knowledge required to know this. It is self-evident. It is self-effulgent. So therefore the question here is there any other knowledge to illumine this self? No. Ulladala dulla unar ullado ulla porul ullalara ullatte ulladal ullamenum ulla porul ullalevan ullatte ullapadi ullade ullal unar. My God, Bhagavan's poetry. Ulladala dulla unar ullado. Is there any other thing apart from this Sat principle which will illumine this Sat principle? No. Ulladana dulla unar ullado. Ullado means, is there anything else? Ullado. Ulla porul, ullalara, ullatte, ulladal. This ulla porul means this Sat principle is there, which is beyond all thoughts, all thinking. Achintyam avyaktam ananta rupam. We studied now. Ullapadi ullade ullalunar. Ullamenum ullaporul, ullapadi ullade ullalunar. Therefore, just remain as the self, that is knowing the self or thinking about the self. It comes in Ulladanarpada Mangala Shloka. So here also, Kvava itara Chit. Is there any other knowledge principle there to illumine this Sat or this self or this existence principle? No. Why? This Sat itself is Chit, Chit itself is Sat. Therefore, it is self-evident. There is no other knowledge required to know this. When you remain there, it is known by itself. See, it is our ordinary experience. I am, I know it. Is it not? No. Is it not? Even in the dark room or even anywhere, I am, I know it. I cannot doubt that. I can doubt other things. I am. How can you doubt this? So therefore, this is self-evident. That is the idea here. It is very self-evident. உள்ளதுணர உணர்வே வேறின்மையா உள்ளதுணர்வாகும் முந்தி பர உணர்வே நாமாயுள முந்தி பர. In Tamil it goes like that. There is no other consciousness required or no other consciousness is there to illumine this Sat or this truth principle, because it itself is conscious principle. And that is me, I, the true self. Meaning what? Chittayahi aham. And that conscious principle is I. So today's morning also we saw na? Adharam anandam akhanda bodham. And that is tat tvameva. Tvameva tat. That is you. So this is a very important Upadesha. That is you. What we are talking about truth is not something else in the heaven sitting. It is you we are talking about. Or it is I am talking about. So this I is not the ego sense, not the personality. The ego sense or the personality is identified with the body mind. But when you transcend this, still there is a notion or the feeling or the experience of I, which is the real self, which is Paramapurna Sat, which is the truth. That we have to know and abide. Not even know, abide. This is what Bhagavan says. And moving on, now he is going to take up the real Mahavakya Upadesha. Jiva Brahma Atma Ikya Bodha. Meaning, he is going to take Jiva and Ishvara and is going to analyze and understand how that Ishvara Tattva is nothing but Jiva Swarupam only. Something like that.
ईश जीवयोर् वेषधिविधा
ईश जीवयोर् वेषधिविधा
सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम्
सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम्
ईश जीवयोर् वेषधिविधा
ईश जीवयोर् वेषधिविधा
सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम्
सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम्.
See, in traditional Vedanta Shastra, there is this discussion about Jiva Jagat Ishvara. Jagat means what? The world outside, which we are experiencing. Jiva means this I, me, who is experiencing this world. The Jiva. And Ishvara means we all presume that there is God who has created this world and who is running the show and who is all powerful. So when you take and analyze what is the Jiva and what is this Ishvara, what is the relationship between these two, here Bhagavan says, only with respect to the conditioning there is difference. Veshadhi Bida. In Tamil kuda Vesham porren solluvom illaya. So external conditioning, external makeup we can say in a very rough way, there is difference. But Satsvabhavataha, when you look from the standpoint of the existence principle, Satsvabhavataha, Vastu Kevalam, that is only one. Vastu means the Vastu is only one. Kevalam means it's only one. How? Jiva means what? What is this personality? What is this I? This I or this Jiva is nothing but I am identifying, my true self is identifying somehow for no reason with the body mind. And I function through this body mind and I consider to be this body mind. This is Jiva. So whatever is the dharma of body, I think it is my dharma. I am growing old. I am handsome. All this dharma of the body, I superimpose on myself. Similarly, the mind also. Mind has got so many different thoughts. We identify with that and we say, I am very good, I am very useless, I am very vulgar, all those stuff. So this is Jiva. Jiva means our conditioning or our external sort of Vesha is body-mind. Ishvara or the Lord or the God, who is He? In technical Vedanta Shastra says, that is also the one principle, the same conscious principle, when it functions through Maya, keeping the Maya under its control. Maya means Maya Shakti, the power, infinite potentiality, infinite power under its control. When it functions, is called, when it functions in the this thing, it's called as Ishvara. He is all powerful, all knowing, all those stuff. From that standpoint, if you see, yes, there are differences. As a Jiva, I am very miserable, I am very limited, and my knowledge is limited. But as Ishvara, the Lord, yes, He is always blissful, and He is knowing everything, and He can do anything. But this is only with respect to the conditioning. But when you look into the actual thing, without all this conditioning, he says, Sat Svabhavataha Vastu Kevalam. The Vastu, the real thing, is one only. How? If you ask how? Our Acharya ji used to give a beautiful example. Let us take, for example only, Barack Obama. Let us take his example. Barack Obama, he was the president of US. So he has got 2 daughters. He has got a wife. Right? So when he is in the White House, as an ordinary householder, he is a husband of that lady, and he is the father of 2 daughters. Right? So as a father, he has got very limited sway over the children. They don't listen. That is the order of the day. He cannot dictate terms to the wife. So he is adangi odangi shantamar parobhama. I'm just joking, huh? Don't sue me for saying unrelated facts. Just joking. Huh? I'm so scared of this Western world. They can sue you for anything and everything. And the same Barack Obama, the President of the United States of America, the superpower, if he goes and sits in his office as a president, then what? My God, he is no more an ordinary person. He is a commander-in-chief, and he is a president. And just one of his signature is enough to just destroy this world. Meaning he is so powerful. So the president is so powerful, and he knows everything about the country, the secrets, the military secrets, and the intelligence inputs, everything he has got at his fingertips. He's all powerful. So as the President of the United States of America, he's all powerful. As a father of 2 little kids, he's a father, whatever is done. He's so loving, caring. And the daughter may say, Papa, you don't know anything, you are useless. He will say, yes, you are right. The wife may not even talk to him for so long, for weeks together. He cannot help. He has to put up. So, the person is the one. If you take the mask of father, he is a different thing. He is very limited. He is very, ordinary. But if you take the mask of the President of the United States, he is something else. His power is unlimited, and he can really dictate terms to the world. This is how it is. So, when that conscious principle, when it functions through the limited body-mind equipment, it is called as Jiva. The same thing when it functions through the Maya power, the supreme Shakti power, it is called as Ishvara. But when you see, it is the same thing. This is the heart of our Advaita Vedanta philosophy. So Veshadhi Bidha, the difference, Bidha means the difference is only in the Vesha, the external unconditionings. But if you look deep, the Vastu Kevalam means Kevalam means what? It is just one and one only. The same thing, when I identify with this individual body equipment, it becomes a miserable Jiva. If it identifies with the Maya Shakti, it becomes Ishvara. But when you just ignore all this conditioning, and when you look at the essence, Satsvabhavataha means essentially, if you look at it, it is the one. So the ocean is huge, vast, so deep, and the waves are very small. Just it rises and it falls. But if you take from the standpoint of water, both are water only. So as long as our attention is on the Nama Rupa, then you say it is vast, this is small, this, that. But when our attention is on the essence, the water, both are one only. Similarly, it is said in our Shastras, though we may say Ishvara is all powerful, yes, it is true. See, this is what you should understand. In the Vyavahara, in the relative world, as long as you see the world outside, as long as you feel I am functioning in the world outside and I sort of go through this experience of joy and sorrow, so in the relative framework. There, Ishvara is also there, is Karma Phala Dhata, everything is fine, everything is right. But when you, in seat of meditation, give up this body-mind and reach the source of all being or source of everything, then there, Ishvara also is just the self only. Meaning, Ishvara is not is something else. So therefore, Dvaita Vedanta Shastra says, Tat Tvameva, Tvameva Tat. You are that and that alone. There may be differences in the Vyavahara as long as you see differences. But when you glide into that frame, that dimension where there are no differences, there is Vastu Kevalam. There is only one Vastu. So abiding in that Vastu is the goal of all human existence. That is moksha. That is everything. We'll move on.
Veshahanata Swatmadarshanam.
Veshahanata Swatmadarshanam.
Ishadarshanam Swatmarupataha.
Ishadarshanam Swatmarupataha.
Veshahanata Swatmadarshanam.
Veshahanata Swatmadarshanam.
Ishadarshanam Swatmarupataha.
Ishadarshanam Swatmarupataha.
தன்னை உபாதி விட்டோர்வது தான் ஈசன் தன்னை உணர்வதா முந்தி பர தானாய் ஒளிர்வதால் உந்தி பர. Meaning here what Bhagavan says, Veshahanataha. When one gives up the Vesha, means the external conditioning called the body mind, when one gives up in the seat of meditation or one transcends in the seat of meditation, then that is Swatma Darshanam. There he realizes the self, Atma, the self, the true self. And this is really Isha Darshanam. Ishvara Darshanam. Vision of God means what? It is not that suddenly you see a form, wonderful form, with a flute in the hand. Aha, Murali Manohara Krishna, I love him. That is not the real vision. Because that which appears will disappear. That is also in the field of Triputi, of the seer, seen and the seen. So therefore, that is not the Isha Darshanam. What is Isha Darshanam? When you transcend your body mind, you abide in your true self. That is truly Ishvara Darshanam. Because Isha also available as what? Swatma Rupataha. ஏனென்றால் ஈசனும் தானாய் ஒளிர்வதால் உந்தீப்பர். The Ishwaran also, the Isha, the God also, he is shining as the self only. தானாய் ஒளிர்வதால். Therefore, according to Bhagavan, according to all our Upanishads and Vedas, Ishvara Darshanam means it is not having a vision of a divine form or anything. Yeah, it comes and goes, therefore that is not the truth. But please do not underestimate. You and I, are we having that kind of a vision? No. Because when the mind is purified through Upasana, and when there is lot of Shraddha and Bhakti, then the Mahatmas have seen different divine forms. But that is not the end of the story. And that same should be realized as one's own self. Because he also, his real Swarupam also is nothing but this Atma Swarupam. See, that is why in the Bhakti Yoga he said, Aniya Bhavatin Avanahamahum Ananiya Bhavame Undipara Anittinum Uttamam Undipara, he said. Instead of keeping God as somebody else, as a object, somewhere away, you have to always think, he is my own self, residing in my heart as my own self. This is the Uttama Bhavam, he says. Because actually his true essence also is this one Vastu Kevalam, this self only. Therefore, according to Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, is very clear. Ishvara Darshanam means is Swatma Darshanam only. Because Ishvara is also shining as I only in the heart. Apart from this I, there is nothing. Whatever you seems to experience is all just the figment of the imagination. Why imagination? Because it comes and goes. It is anitya, asukha, and not only that, it has got no existence or light of its own. It borrows the existent principle and the light of this self only. So therefore, this alone is the truth. So even if you talk about Jagat, Jiva, Ishvara, Bheda, see, actually speaking, that is only self. That is only Paramatma. Since we identify with this body, what happens, you know? Sada udalna nennadu, Sachittu udiyadu, udalalavam udikkum, idailidu, meaning this body will not say I. This conscious principle will not rise or will not set. In between there is something called as I, Ahankara, which identifies with the body, says I am, I. And the ego. This is ego sense. So, when this ego sense comes, the aham vritti, then comes everything. Means the whole wonderful world in front of you. Since because you could not recognize your true self, you identify, misapprehension, you identify with the body mind, there comes the ego and there comes the world. So the world itself is creation of your own mind because of your own ignorance. And then you say there is somebody who has created this, who is running the show, who is taking care of everything, who is the karma paladata. All this is the ignorance in the second stage. என்ன சொல்ல வரீங்க சுவாமி நீங்க? சாமி கடவுள்னு சொன்னா அவரோட அறியாமையோட விளைவா அப்படின்னு கேட்டா இதுதான் அனிர்வச்சனியம் சொல்ல வேண்டியிருக்கு. அனிர்வச்சனியம் means from this standpoint everything is fine, everything is, but in the Paramatma Tattvam, in that Paramarthika state, there is nothing. So therefore, even the idea of God is only a figment of imagination. Because first of all we have misunderstood something. And then from there, we are seeing a wonderful world in front of us. And then we infer there should be some superior power which is running the show. First of all, this identification the body itself is false. And the second thing, the seeing the world itself is figment of imagination. It is not there. And then to infer that there must be somebody running the show is a real ignorance. So therefore, when you, when you give up all your false identification, there is nothing other than the self. From that standpoint, there is nothing other than the self. But once when you slip from this state, everything else is there. See? Once when you slip from that, yes, there is Jiva, there is Jagat, there is Ishvara, there is Karma, there is birth, there is rebirth, blah 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 blah. But once when you give up and abide there, there is nothing.
காரியம் காரணம் ரெண்டு எடுத்துட்டா காரியம்ங்கிற பொருளை நான் போத்திண்டேன்னா ஜீவாடு காரணம்ங்கிற பொருளை போத்திண்டா ஈஸ்வரன்.
Correct. Yeah. All those things. போர்வை தான் கடைசில எல்லாம். அதான் இங்க சொல்றேன். வேஷம்னா அதான்.
காரிய காரணம் ஈஸியா இருக்கு மனசுக்கு.
Yeah, cause and effect. Yeah. But the cause and effect itself is creation of the mind.
Yes.
So therefore, all these things are just, see, always I used to tell in all my lectures, the mathematics students know. They prove a theorem. They start saying, let us assume, the first step is let us assume, and then they develop the theorem, and then they say LHS equal to RHS, left hand side is equal to right hand side, and therefore the theorem is proved. See, the first step when you say, let us assume that I am this, that itself is wrong. Then how can you develop this theorem and you say left hand side, right? All nonsense. So when you first of all say, yes, I am there, the world is there, that should be Ishvara, first, you yourself have considered yourself to be something limited. Yeah, something false. That is why Bhagavan always says, when you say, go to him and say, oh, mind is terrible, I am this, I am that. First, have you ever thought whether what you are? Are you there? This is what he asks again and again. என்னமோ நான் இருக்கிறதா நினைச்சிட்டு எல்லாத்தையும் கற்பனை பண்ணி நீ இருக்கியா முதல்ல அது சொல்லுங்க. அடியப்பிடா பாரதப்பட்டான்னு தமிழ்ல ஒரு இது அது வேற அர்த்தம் அதுக்கு. அடியப்பிடா பாரதப்பட்டானா அவர் எப்பயுமே போயிடுவார் மூலத்துக்கு. அவர்கிட்ட போய் அதாவது டிவோட்டி சே பகவான் ப்ளீஸ் டோன்ட் யூஸ் திஸ் பிரம்மாஸ்திரம், யூ ஜஸ்ட் ஆன்சர் மை கொஸ்டின். See, இது எப்படி இருக்கு தெரியுமா? இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அஜ்ஞானத்தை விட்டுட்டு மற்றதெல்லாம் ஆன்சர் பண்ணா எல்லா அஜ்ஞானமும் தான் இருக்கும். So therefore here veshahanatah. Veshahanatah means when you give up the body mind, the vesha, then swatma darshan, you abide in yourself and you recognize yourself as the true self. That is Ishvara darshanam. Why? Because the Isha or the Ishvara also shines as I only in the heart. Therefore Ishvara darshanam is not seeing a form, a divine form and all. It is abiding in one's own self. Full stop. So therefore, everything comes back to the source. And then you abide there. That is the end of the story. But you know what? The weak people, the people who are crying always, cannot accept this. No, you are telling something. We need a God to hold on to. We need a God who will take care of us. How can you say this? Okay, that is God, take him, worship him, surrender it to him, he will take care of you. That's all true. I'm not saying it's all not true. In that frame of reference, everything is true. Adampa, the Einstein's theory of relativity is very important. See, whenever head of the Department of Physics, he taught us, I was so amazed. See, the Einstein's theory of relativity says, when the event is happening, when you watch from the frame of reference A, it appears as A. When it watch from the frame of B, it appears as B. Which is right? A is right or B is right? So your question is wrong. Because from the frame of reference A, it appears that way. From B, it appears this way. So therefore it is not the question of it is what is the absolute, which is the real thing. No, from where you are watching. From the standpoint of ajnana, everything is right. But from the standpoint of jnana, all this is nonsense. No, this is right or that is right, where you are now. Are you a jnani or ajnani? Are you identified with the body mind or not? See? But when you identify with the body mind, when you see a world, all these things are functional. The vasanas, the karma theory, the birth and death, the rebirth, the lokas, everything is functional. But when you don't identify with that, nothing is there for you. See, this is amazing. Chittiram virippanyavan sittano mayi kanbor. This is amazing. So therefore, it is avoiding in the self is Ishvara Darshanam. There is nothing called as Ishvara Darshanam apart from this. Moving on.
Atma samsthiti swatma darshanam.
Atma samsthiti swatma darshanam.
Atma nidvayat atma nishtata.
Atma nidvayat atma nishtata.
Atma samsthiti swatma darshanam.
Atma samsthiti swatma darshanam.
Atma nidvayat atma nishtata.
Atma nidvayat atma nishtata.
See, in the previous verse, shloka, it is said, Veshahanataha swatma darshanam. Isha darshanam swatma rupata. So, darshana means seeing actually. So, seeing one's own self truly is a real vision of the Lord. It is said, na? When it is said seeing, swatma darshanam, here also a student can misunderstand. Now I have to see the self or know the self. Here he says, no. Why? Atma samsthitihi swatma darshanam. Just remaining, abiding as self is seeing the self. Why? Is there two self? One to see and one to be seen? If it is so, then on the Padavunda edge, there is duality. Then it is not Purna. Then it is not absolute. Even our ordinary experiences, we don't experience ourselves to be two selves. A cinema now, MGR. திடீர்னு பார்த்தா மனசாட்சி வெளில வந்து பேசும். But நம்ம மனசாட்சி யாருக்கா வெளில வந்து பேசுச்சாரு ரொம்ப ஜாகிரதையா இருக்கணும். You have to consult a doctor. So the idea is what? The self is one only. That is all. That is the experience of all. That is, there are no two selves, one to see and one to be seen. If that is the case, then there is seer-seen dichotomy, there is duality, and that is not absolute. So therefore, it is not seeing, it is being. Atma nirdvayat. Atma is not two. Nirdvayat means not two. It is one without the second. Therefore, it is not even seeing, it is not even knowing, it is being. See, idha kurikka vandaduna Arunachala Tattvam. Again and again I am telling you, there is a great significance in Arunachala Tattvam. What is Arunachala Tattvam? The Purana story goes that this Brahmaji and Vishnuji, they were fighting with each other, that who is supreme. Then Lord Shiva appeared as the infinite column of light. Adimudi illada Sodiya, infinite column of light. Then they were shocked and surprised. What is this? Then they decided whoever could find the head or the feet of this Adi or Mudi of this infinite column of light, they are supreme. But alas, they could not find the Adi or Mudi. Even if Brahmaji or Vishnuji, if they are not able to see the Adi or Mudi, how can you and I see? That way, as an object, you can never see him or recognize him. Then, when everything is given up, whatever remains is the self, which is self-evident. Therefore, you don't know him, you just to be. அதனாலதான் சும்மா இரு அறிவதற்கு ஒன்றும் இல்லைன்னு சொன்னார் யோகேஸ்வரர். Summa ira means what? Even there is nothing to know. See, in our day-to-day life, we are very much used to know things. I have studied physics or chemistry or this or that, and then I have got a degree. Meaning what? I have known things. When you come here also, you say, I have studied Shastras, now I want to know the truth, know the self. And the purpose inge vehalpa tambi. Why? You cannot know. You cannot understand the truth. You can only stand under the truth. Acharya's statement is very significant. It is not knowing. It is tyaghe naike amrita. It is just giving up everything and just being. So you don't gain anything special here. You have to lose everything here. Are you ready for the deal?
I'm learning.
So you are not gaining anything. You have to lose everything. Only in losing that is the real gain. Undoing or unlearning, whatever it is. So therefore, it is not even knowing the self or seeing the self. See, darshana means seeing. Once again, the student will get, I have to see now. I will see something. Or I will know something. This is the last hurdle, objectification of the truth. That is why Buddha said, nothing. Nothing means what? It is not a thing.
Nothing.
No thing. It is nothing. It means it's not a thing. Give up everything and wait. That is it. Whoever is waiting is Paramatma. So therefore, here Bhagavan says, he is not even knowing, it is just being, because the self is non-dual. There is not one self to know and one self to be known. If that is the case, it is not absolute, it is not the Paramapurna. Therefore, it is just being.